It has been a bumpy evening across central and eastern Kentucky, and thunderstorms still on the strong side. The very latest coming up.
Strong winds and lightning from tonight's storms caused some problems across parts of central Kentucky. We'll show you the damage. And one former Wildcat heard his name called early in tonight's NBA draft. Find out where Jamal Murray will be playing.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. It has been a night of some rough weather across the Bluegrass as rounds of storms left their mark. We'll show you some of that damage in just a moment. But first, we are still tracking storms in parts of Kentucky right now. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Chris, is it starting to slow down any?
It really is. You know what? Two pieces of information here to show you how the weather is calming down. First, we look at our current warnings map, and really, outside of a flash flood warning into Boyd County, nothing is out there. A far cry from what we had a little earlier. Second piece of information, I've got the sleeves rolled down, the jacket on. It's a good indicator that things are calming down here across central and eastern Kentucky. We look at our Defender radar network, and those thunderstorms that we had earlier that caused all the problems are now into parts of northern Tennessee and far southwestern parts of the region. Still, some scattered strong thunderstorms are going up out there this evening. We're ahead of a front. So much humidity. The atmosphere was in supercharged mode earlier today. Strong thunderstorm western Boyle County back into parts of Marion County around the Lebanon area. That extends a little farther to the east. Thunder, lightning here into Richmond, Lancaster, on top of Nicholasville. And one more little thunderstorm has popped up here right on the capital city of Frankfort. Additional showers and thunderstorms now stretching from Powell County through Beattyville, Boonville, that's Lee and Owsley counties. My only cause for concern right now, at least the main cause for concern, is into parts of Leslie and Harlan counties. Why am I worried about those areas? They picked up 5 and 6 inches of rain just 2 nights ago, and those storms can dump some additional heavy rains, which may cause some renewed high water issues. Thunder, lightning, general run-of-the-mill stuff here into far southern Kentucky, back toward the Lake Cumberland area, where you look to your southwest right now to Russell Springs and Monticello. One heck of a light show that is currently ongoing. What we're seeing, though, is slowly but surely the thunderstorms are settling their way onto the south. Future radar showing by 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, a lot of that stuff is beginning to dry up. Amber, when I come back in a little bit, we're going to talk about heat and humidity building in for the weekend.
Chris, we'll see you in just a bit. Thank you. A severe storm blew through Bourbon County late this afternoon, bringing down many trees as it passed. Some roads were blocked by large trees, so crews actually brought in bulldozers to get them out of the way. Monique Blair continues our First Alert Weather Team coverage with a look at the cleanup.
Paris is calm now, but we were in Bourbon County earlier as the storm rolled through. And although it didn't last very long, road crews did have some cleaning up to do. First came the rain. The rain was heavy at times and there was some lightning, but it really didn't stick around too long. Shortly after the rain stopped, we found a tree had fallen on Spears Mill Road. Road crews told me they're able to clean trees off the roads pretty quickly out here. Then on the other side of Paris, another tree completely covered Clay Kaiser Road. Rosemarie Leithart lives on Clay Kaiser Road, and she thinks this damage to her Bradford pear tree was caused by lightning.
I heard a big clap like a thunder, and then it just went over, I guess, because I didn't see it. I went out and looked on the back porch, and it was already down.
And although it's only a tree, Leithart says it holds a special meaning to her.
See, my sister died in '99, and she went with me right before she died to get that tree.
The people I talked to tonight told me although there was some minor damage left behind from the storm, the most important thing was that nobody was hurt. In Bourbon County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Here in Lexington, firefighters blame lightning for a fire that damaged a home tonight. The people who live in the home on Richmond Road say lightning struck the top of the home and caught the roof on fire. They say they heard a loud boom. Then their neighbors called them to let them know that their house was on fire. Everyone inside the home, including their pets, got out safely. Firefighters say there's now a hole in the roof where the lightning hit it and sparked that fire. Also in Lexington, a tree fell on a house along Rosemont Garden. It caused some damage to the roof and a front awning. The area around the home was blocked off when we were there earlier. No injuries were reported by this fallen tree. Scott County was under a tornado warning at one point this afternoon, while emergency managers say they didn't receive any reports of a tornado actually touching down. The storm did cause some tense moments. Garrett Weimer has the latest.
After the storms passed and the skies cleared, John McCall still had some work to do.
Debris and chaff and hay and trash and logs and everything else. It gets in the fence and you got to clean it out. It makes a mess.
The water had gone down by then, but McCall says heavy rains caused the creek here to flood Double Culvert Road.
It was up to about the second board from the top, and the whole road was covered from one end of the fence to the other.
Emergency management officials here in Scott County say they're relieved that the storms were not as bad as they expected.
Actually had National Weather Service calling my cell phone saying this looks like a West Liberty type storm.
The Emergency Operations Center tracked the storms all day. Much of the county was under a tornado warning for about an hour, but thankfully nothing touched down and there wasn't any damage reported.
It was about the worst we've seen on radar in several years. Luckily, most of the things that we were seeing on radar stayed up in the upper atmosphere.
John McCall was also relieved to see everything on his farm was okay.
I was worried that the cattle would get down here in the deeper water, maybe get swept out or something, and it kind of worries you. So I come to check on them, and they were okay, so I figured I'd just let water go back down.
In Scott County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
In Campbellsville, firefighters are trying to figure out if lightning sparked a large fire at a business tonight. According to the Central Kentucky News Journal, that fire caused major damage at H&W Sports. There's no word on any injuries. Remember, you can track storms when you're away from the TV with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. Well, the wait is over for former UK basketball player Jamal Murray. He now knows where he'll be playing in the NBA. And what does he think about his new team? Our Rob Bromley joins us now with more on tonight's NBA draft. Hi, Rob.
Well, Jamal Murray was a projected lottery pick all along. And as it turned out, he did not have to wait long to hear his name called tonight in New York.
With the 7th pick in the 2016 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Jamal Murray from Kitchener, Canada, and the University of Kentucky.
So there it is, and John Calipari right there to congratulate Jamal, who put together a spectacular season at Kentucky, averaging 20 points per game. He is headed to Denver at number 7. Later in the evening, much later, Skal Labissiere fell out of the lottery, but he stayed in the first round. He goes to Phoenix at number 28. Lee K. Howard spoke with Murray shortly after he was drafted.
You told me the other day that Minnesota would be a good destination, but you wouldn't care exactly who you went to. Denver, a team that maybe not a lot of people projected you to go to. How do you feel now that you are a Nugget?
Great. So happy. Thankful that they picked me. I was excited to get it going. Excited to show them what I got, and I know they wanted me, so I just want to make them proud.
All right, the first round of the draft coming to an end. Jamal Murray, the 20th first-round pick under John Calipari since 2010, and now Skal makes it 21. Amber, it has been amazing.
It certainly was, Rob. Thank you. Overall now, Coach Cal has 27 players drafted since he arrived at Kentucky. Sheriff's deputies in Boyle County are looking for a hit-and-run driver. They say seriously injured a woman. It happened late Monday night on Highway 2168, not far from US 127. Deputies say a car sideswiped 43-year-old Angela Fox as she rode her moped. They say the driver of the car didn't stop to help her. Deputies say Fox has had to undergo surgery since being hit. They say they don't have a good description of the car other than it was maroon. New tonight, a Franklin County judge says he will likely not be making a ruling in Governor Bevin's decision to dissolve the University of Louisville Board of Trustees before July 1st. That's the deadline for the university to decide on a budget and a tuition increase. Attorney General Andy Beshear has asked the judge to overturn the governor's decision, saying the governor didn't have the authority to dissolve the board. but the judge said the dispute is, quote, uncharted territory, and the university will have to continue functioning while the court sorts things out. Tonight, we have learned bluegrass music legend Ralph Stanley has died at the age of 89. His publicist says Stanley died earlier today. Stanley was a native of Virginia. He and his brother Carter formed the Stanley Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys in 1946. Ralph Stanley became a member of the Grand Ole Opry in 2000, and he won a Grammy in 2002. A Lexington woman made a dramatic escape today when her home caught fire. What we've learned about the investigation in 9 minutes. And a federal judge has made a decision in a trademark lawsuit at a distillery filed against the University of Kentucky.
WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day just about to come to an end. It's been 3 consecutive days where we have been with our WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Things are slowly but surely calming down out there, not a moment too soon. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of wind damage across central and eastern Kentucky. No active warnings anywhere across central Kentucky. Flash flood warning into parts of Boyd County where we've had several homes that were flooded. Major flash flooding for our neighbors just to the east in West Virginia. Fatalities being reported there. Homes that are devastated. So by those standards, things across Kentucky could certainly be a whole lot worse. Look at our Defender Radar Network now. Still, if you look toward the southern horizon out of Lexington, you're going to see one heck of a light show, or out of wherever you are across central and eastern Kentucky. Now, if you're under one of these thunderstorms, stay inside, all right? It's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning that we're still dealing with. Lebanon, Marion County, into northern parts of Casey County, Stanford into Lincoln County, some heavier rains. But now notice how we have some general showers with an embedded rumble or two of thunder into parts of central Kentucky. Very slow-moving thunderstorm right on top of 64 here, just to the south of downtown Frankfort. Folks, into Midway, across Versailles, Lawrenceburg, still some thunder you're going to hear for the next little bit. Thunder and lightning on the east side of Richmond into the Waco area of Madison County, south of the Mountain Parkway, with thunderstorms lining up northwest to southeast. Strongest storm into central and eastern Kentucky right now is in parts of Hyden County down into Harlan County, or Hyden in Leslie County. Leslie County into Harlan County, where we do not need it. This is an area that picked up 5 and 6 inches of rain, had some homes flooded into Harlan County just a few nights ago. Hopefully we can get that to get a little more movement toward the south and southeast. Heavy rain here lining up across the Kentucky-Tennessee border counties, stretches back to the west towards sections of Lake Cumberland. What a very active pattern over the past few days, culminating with that big severe weather outbreak today across most of central and eastern Kentucky. That hour-by-hour future radar through the rest of tonight, slowly but surely everything begins to calm down. So we're getting ourselves into a better pattern as we go into the day on Friday. Tomorrow, not as hot as what we had today, though it's a typical brand of June air, mid-80s. Smallest threat still southeastern Kentucky for a little shower or thunderstorm early in the morning. And that shows up on the hour-by-hour forecast. That'll walk you into the first half of the weekend. Tomorrow, lunchtime, it's a little better, upper 70s to low 80s. And again, isolated shower thunderstorm into southeastern Kentucky. It's not like we're just going to clean the skies up tomorrow. We're going to have to battle some clouds. We'll have a little sunshine out there from time to time as well. But overall, it's a much cooler day than the near 100-degree heat index we had out there on this Thursday. How do we look for a night on the town Friday night? Looking good. How about Saturday morning? Up and at 'em, maybe heading to a farmer's market? Pretty good shape. Mid to upper 60s with some fog out there. Still think this model is undercooking the temperatures on Saturday. We're going to likely head toward the low 90s, if not a little warmer than that. I think before this weekend is through, 90 to 95, a strong possibility, and a heat index, especially on Sunday, that can reach 100 to 105 degrees. Ouch. A shower thunderstorm could kind of help us out at some point on Sunday. Better chances early next week as temperatures come back down to normal.
Boy, it really just became crazy this afternoon for there about that hour and a half.
It really did. Those thunderstorms just blew up, but you knew something was going to give today. You had a 100-degree heat index and winds that were at 30 miles an hour at around 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. That was Mother Nature's way of signaling to us that the atmosphere was supercharged.
And you've been saying all week that Thursday was going to be the day. Chris, thank you. An unusual sight caused some excitement today for people in Danville. What fish and wildlife officials are saying about bear sightings in 7 minutes. Neighbors say a woman escaped a house fire in Lexington today by jumping from a second-story window. The fire started around 7 this morning at a home on Forest Cove Lane near Richmond Road. Firefighters say the woman was not seriously injured, but they say the home is a total loss, and they say they haven't been able to find the woman's 2 dogs and 2 cats. Neighbors say they're doing what they can to help.
She might have lost her animals, and that was her world, and so I really feel for her about that.
Firefighters also say the fire damaged vinyl siding on 2 homes next door. They're still trying to figure out what caused that fire. Will they stay or will they go? Votes are still being counted tonight as people in the United Kingdom decided today whether or not to stay in the European Union. With 1/3 of the official results in, the Leave side has a slight lead. Experts think the final result will be very close. All of the votes should be counted by tomorrow morning. New tonight, a federal judge has ruled against a Letcher County distillery in its trademark dispute against the University of Kentucky. Today, the judge threw out Kentucky Mist Moonshine's lawsuit that was filed against UK. The judge ruled UK has sovereign immunity, which protected it from the lawsuit. Kentucky Mist sued UK over the use of the word Kentucky on clothing. The UK spokesman says the ruling recognizes the school's interest in protecting trademark interests. The distillery hasn't said if it will appeal. An unusual sight in the middle of Danville today, a bear. That bear was seen around the Kentucky School for the Deaf campus and elsewhere around Danville. The school actually went on lockdown as a precaution. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife officials say it's not unusual for bears to wander into populated areas this time of year, but it is unusual to see one of them in Danville.
We did set a trap because of where this bear is. You know, potential for roadkill is very high, and we want to protect the bear if possible and get him back somewhere safe.
Fish and wildlife officials say it's illegal to feed bears. They say the animals are lazy and will stay around places they know they can easily get food. A good show for a good cause tonight in downtown Lexington. The annual Children's Charity Cabaret was held at Heritage Hall. It is part of Children's Charity Classic Week. Tonight's event included dinner, music, and a performance by comedian Jeff Foxworthy. Children's Charity Classic leaders say they're able to give a lot back to the community.
We're just spreading a lot of good joy and a lot of goodwill throughout Central Kentucky and helping as many kids as we possibly can.
You'll be able to watch the Children's Charity Classic Golf Tournament Saturday afternoon at 3 right here on WKYT. Well, dreams coming true on the night of the NBA Draft.
Amber, they do. It also becomes a waiting game, and as we saw tonight, that waiting game is not easy. For Jamal Murray, tonight, the big night. He goes early on in the lottery. We will hear from him next in sports. Jamal Murray, a lottery pick in tonight's NBA draft. He goes number 7 to the Denver Nuggets. Just as the announcement was made, Murray hugging his dad first. John Calipari was right there. Murray was always projected to go in the lottery. He's a tremendous spot-up shooter who is able to expand his game at Kentucky. And shortly after being drafted, he spoke with Lee K. Howard at the Barclays Center.
You only worked out for a handful of teams. Just wondering, was Denver one of them? And had you heard from the Nuggets prior to them picking you?
No, I didn't. No, it was a surprise. Just how it all went. How the process went and how I ended up in Denver. It's everything happens for a reason. So this is going to be a good start.
I know some guys have said before that if they're picked later than they thought that they should have been picked, they kind of put a chip on their shoulder. Look at the guys that were picked before them. Is that something you'll do? Look at some of the guys who were picked before you and make it a priority to play better than them?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm the best pick in the draft, and I think that Denver got lucky. They got what they wanted, and now I'm ready to show it and show them what I got.
You'll be playing alongside a guy like Emmanuel Mudiay. Does that interest you, playing along a talented guy like that?
Yeah, we played in Hoop Summit for a year, so it'll be cool to see him again and play off each other.
Now, as it turned out, it became a waiting game for Skal Labissiere. You can tell by the look on his face. He fell outside the lottery, and then it was late in the first round, but the first round had not ended when he heard his name.
With the 28th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Phoenix Suns select Skal Labissiere from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and the University of Kentucky.
So Scal has that long wait, but he is a first-rounder. Phoenix is the team, the home of several former Wildcats. He spoke with ESPN right afterwards.
It was a great blessing. We've been through a lot. I've been, picturing this moment my whole life, and I'm very thankful to be able to be, part of the NBA. So,
what was it like to be waiting? You were in that green room waiting for a while. What was that like, waiting and not knowing?
At first, it was a little, nerve-wracking, but after a while, it was just like it's God's plan for me. Wherever He wants me to go, that's where I'm going to go, and I know I'll be successful in the league. So.
And Tyler Ulis, hearing his name just a moment ago, he is also headed to Phoenix. He goes in the second round at number 34. Certainly there are those who believe that Ulis is too small, but apparently the Suns do not think so. And here's the order in the top 10 tonight. As expected, Ben Simmons, number 1 to Philadelphia. Brandon Ingram, 2 to the Lakers. The Celtics then made Jaylen Brown the number 3 pick. Buddy Hield went just ahead of Murray at number 6. Marquise Chris drafted by Sacramento tonight, but there is a proposed trade to Phoenix. Former UK guard Janae Thompson is signed to play overseas in Germany. The Chicago native played in 119 games at Kentucky. She started 82. She had her best year with Kentucky last season, averaging almost 12.5 points and almost 5.5 assists per game. Fall camp begins August 4th for the football Wildcats in preparation for that season opener with Southern Miss on September 3rd. Cash Daniel is one of the many newcomers on this year's team. He believes the UK linebacking core can be a special unit.
Heck, we even had a meeting, just players just watching film. So it's a great feeling, to come in and have a special group wanting to be such a good linebacker core. And, we're the heart of the defense, so everything, the middle linebackers set the tone. So everything we do in the film room and on the practice field is going to overturn on Saturdays.
Had a busy night. That's sports. We'll be right back to wrap it up after this.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is less than a minute away here on WKYT. Tonight's guests include Senator Bernie Sanders and Rascal Flatts. Finally, it's calm in some areas, here at least,
Listen,
right?
compared to earlier today, compared to the past few days, it is really calming down out there. The Defender Radar Network, yes, still some showers and thunderstorms out there. Nothing that is considered to be severe. Still, if you hear a little rumble of thunder overnight, shouldn't be anything to be too alarmed about. The overall atmosphere is beginning to settle down a bit.
Much better day for our Friday.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We will see you back here tomorrow.